Well, hello once again, farming friends. Welcome back to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, your old buddy, Mr. Moose. And we're back on Manchester with the Soul mod installed. And we're getting ever so closer to doing our field harvest. Yesterday's video was where we worked on the farm and massaged everything, cleaned it up a little bit. I'll show you how all that turned out. We'll check the field levels, and today's video is going to be a lot of fast trekking time to get ready to harvest. Plus we'll tend to our animals a little bit, but this is how everything looks now that everything is in place with the new texture underneath there and so forth, and looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking it. There's a little bit of grass that appeared there up in front of the semi, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And I even left myself a little bit of room here on this end so I can drive around. So I'm pretty happy with it. Not really sure why that little bit of grass is there. Hopefully I don't get any more grass over time grow back into this thing. I think I took all the foliage out of it, so it shouldn't have any grass there. But anyways, well, that's how it turned out. Alright, so what's next to do? We need to check all our field levels and see where we're at with moisture content as we get ready to head into the rain, which is scheduled for tomorrow. So real quick, we'll just run out into the fields here and take a look at them. This one's around 35, 28, 27, 31. Not too bad. That's sort of where I want them to be. These will actually be a little bit dry. I don't care if they're a little bit dry. What I don't want them to be is just moist and wet. And this one has points where it's just really too moist. But it'll drop 14%, which will get it down, you know, closer to where I want it to be. So this one will be actually sitting around 29%, you know, on the following day. So that should be closer to what I want field-wise. So I think we'll be okay with that. And then we jump in here. We'll head over to the field 4 and take a look at it. That field and the potato field are about the exact same, so I don't need to ride down and check the potato field. I think they're pretty close. Jump out here and check this thing. And then this field and 6 are just about the same as well. So again, it's a little dry, and you know, come tomorrow it'll be sitting, you know, places where it's, you know, that's 11% come in the morning. But again, I can add water to it. I can't take it away. So we'll just kind of take a look at it. Ultimately, I'd love to have all the fields going into the rain cycle sitting at 28%. Is what I would ultimately like them to be, or 29%. Let's look at the weather forecast just to make sure. So here's the good news is we've got that, if I manipulate it enough, I can get warm days on Sunday. So we'll go into tomorrow, we'll lose a little bit of moisture tonight, and then we'll get the rain, which should be 28% additional water to the fields. And then we'll end up on Sunday, we can adjust if we have to. Add some moisture, we can add some moisture, we can take some moisture away if we go into the noon cycle. So if I get the right weather forecast, that is. So we all know that doesn't always work out. So alright, a little bit of work to do around the farm, and then we'll fast track some time. We'll go harvest some more fruit. I took the remaining oranges that were sitting there in the trailer and added those into the kiosk, so those are taken care of. We need to put a little bit of feed into the cows and put some water in there because they are getting low, so we'll take care of that today as well. Alright, let's get that started. And we'll bring up our HUD. Backtrack to our animals. And as you can see, we're down to 15% water, and our feed's at 50%. So we could stand to add a trailer of feed in there, but definitely got to put some water in. So this morning I ordered my G27, so it shall be here in a few days, and that'll be the next thing I do, is set that up. Looking forward to that. Spent a lot of time looking at steering wheels, and I wasn't so sure. One of you guys has been sending me links or sending me information on that Genesis steering wheel or Genius steering wheel, and I looked at it, and it's really cheap on Amazon, but it also doesn't look, why am I going in here, it just doesn't look as well made as the Logitech. But the other thing is, it doesn't have a clutch on it, and it doesn't come with an 8 shifter, and I want the 8 shifter a lot because I will be playing Euro Truck with it, and the whole point of getting it really is for the driving sims, and the 8 shifter to be able to shift gears while I'm playing. Hello. Just walk right on there in front of me. So yeah, that's the point. So I always use the water here. I use Metro water or whatever water that we have. I know I can go back over into the pond over there and submerge this thing and get free water. I just never have been that guy. I just don't do that. I've done it before on North Brabant a couple of times, but this is just simple, easy. And I tend to go with it. I would like to think if you had a farm operation, you would have a well somewhere on your farm, and you wouldn't be paying city water to do your cattle. But again, I don't think the people who make this game have ever stepped foot on a farm to understand that you would have a well on your farm and that you wouldn't be paying for water. Right? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you live in a city and that's how you get your water all the time, I think you pretty much assume that that's how everybody gets their water. But yeah, on the farm we have a well, and that well is where we get our water that we use. We don't pay city water to water fields, nor to feed livestock. So why you pay for water in this game is beyond me. But it's part of the game, and I don't mind. I don't mind it. But I don't feel like backing into a lake and draining the lake to feed my cattle and to give my cattle whatever disease comes out of that lake. Because let's be honest, that pond back there, it looks pretty nasty. All that algae and everything that's on it. Yeah, I don't want to be giving that to my animals. Sorry. So I'll just use the water tank here. And in my mind, that water tank is the reserve off of the well pump. That's sort of the way I see it. Alright, so that's taken care of. I need to go back here and get a... I wonder if I just missed a little foliage right there, and that's the reason that grass is growing in. It sort of drives me nuts. I may have to go into the editor and scrub a little bit more. What are we looking for? Forge wagon. There we go. Yeah, I just drove by the feed. My mind is not completely here. So by the way, guys, if y'all hear me sniff a little bit, I made a huge mistake yesterday. A buddy of mine called me yesterday morning and needed some help on their farm because they were short-handed. And I said, sure, I'll come help you guys. They were harvesting peanuts, and I walked out of here without any kind of respirator. Mistake. Yeah. Let me just say, if you ever go to harvest peanuts in a dusty field, at least have a handkerchief, a shirt you can tie over your face, a respirator of some sort. I ate enough dirt yesterday out of stupidity, and it took me about an hour to realize I needed to either tie a shirt around my face or do something, because I could not stand it anymore. But the damage was done, and today all I can do is choke on dirt. And my sinuses are just ruined right now. So if you hear me give a little sniff here and there, it's just because I'm dying right now. I don't have that problem doing what I do, but man, peanut harvesting is disgustingly dusty. And my uncle's biz, you know, which I gotta help him out next week with sweet potatoes. It's not nearly as bad. That peanut harvesting is horribly dusty. And it ends up being a fine dust. It goes on. It gets everywhere. The inside of the harvester is just coated in dust, even though it's all the doors and windows are shut. Still gets everywhere. Nasty stuff, nasty stuff, nasty stuff. So yeah, it gets everywhere, and it got all in my sinuses, and I'm miserable today for it. Alright, let's back this back in here. Did get me a sack of peanuts though, so be boiling those up today with some salt. Yeah, those are good. I'll do a half a bag of them, and then I'm going to give the other half of the bag to my neighbor and let them do them for me, because they do Cajun boiled peanuts, and I don't know the recipe for it yet that they use, but theirs are incredible. And yeah, so I'll get them to make me some peanuts. Alright, so that part is taken care of. Let's fast track time a little bit here to get in the afternoon. High demand for slurry at the slurry pit. I think we'll just avoid that one. Let's see. What am I looking for? I am looking for that guy. Gotta go get some fruit. At the end of yesterday's video, I did go ahead and move this guy around here and give the rest of the oranges to Miss Holly, but yeah, she's already sold them and gone inside to take a set first spell, so I'm gonna go ahead and go get some more, cause gots to keep her busy, right? Alright, so get over here and get our fruit trees harvested now. Bring up our help menu so I can see what the harvest is, how fast they're coming in. 75%. What? Oh, let's take care of that real quick. 75, 80, 85, 90. Wow, it's gonna take a long time to get those to 100%. We'll do it at 9:30. We're working late, getting fruit. That ain't right. This should have harvested faster. Oh well. So we'll grab all our oranges here and we'll get them off. I do like my fruit trees. I'm not into all those other mods really that come off of the fruit tree thing. There's a whole pack out there, designer mods that go with the fruit thing, like a yogurt factory and the sugar factory and the liquor factory and all that. I'm not so much into those. They give you sell points, yeah, but I'm not so much into them. Maybe if I try them out, I'll see. But I'm not into the, I don't know. I'm not into Yogurt Sim. Though I do have that mod pack. I looked at it at one point. It just doesn't do that much to me. I like the ag. I like to grow and I like to get rid of the stuff. I'm not, I don't know. You know, and I've done my share of mod reviews or showcases on things like the beer factory and the stuff like that. I don't mind them for sell points, but I'm just not into the rest of it that you have to sit through. Which I got bitched at in an email one day because I was sarcastic about a mod. I don't like it, you know. Some of these mods I dig. You know, I like the fruit mod because that's realistic. And that's the thing, guys. I go for more realism in my gameplay on this. I like realism. I don't knock anybody for anything they do in their gameplay style. You know, to each his own. And if you want to add something into your map, I think that's fine. And that's the beauty of placeable mods. I like placeable mods. I like me being able to place the mod that I want to play into the game. And I think you should, I like that ability. And if you want to put a particular mod into the game and you want to play with it, that's what you want to do. There's just a couple of mods that I don't like, and I don't like them being incorporated into a map because I don't like where they're incorporated into the map. Let's put it that way. And the one I don't like is the potato washing, potato steaming one. And because you wouldn't see that on a farm. Now, if a map developer made it and put it in a processing center, and you drove all over there and you dumped your potatoes into it and everything, and it was processed, and then at the end it came out of the processor and was sold off there on at the processor. That one is cool, but not incorporating it into the farm, and that's my only thing with it. So like if you put it here at a building like this, and you had a load-in zone where you loaded your potatoes in, and then they were washed and they were steamed, and the last thing out of it, they were taken and put onto a point, and you were paid off of that. I would be absolutely cool with that. That would be great. And that would be a cool little mod. It would be a potato processing facility. But as far as placing a potato washer on my farm and scrubbing it and steaming it and all that stuff, that's my only problem I have with that, because it's just not realistic. And but at the same time, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes because you use it on your particular map. If that's what you want to use, that's what you want to use, and I don't have any problem with that. I understand the need to have things to make this game more interesting to you, because it does become the same old day in and day out. There's some aspects of it I don't particularly like, and that's my thing. Don't hate me because I don't like it. I'm not telling you not to use it on your map. I like the lumber mill thing. I don't necessarily use it. I like it. And would I put that on a farm? Absolutely. Because in the day, there are a lot of farmers who had them on their farm. And we're not talking like a major facility where you bring hundreds of thousands of logs in and you're producing millions of board feet of wood every day. You're talking about a small little, no bigger than your garage. It had just enough to have most of the time they were powered by a horse walking around, or a little steam engine or something, and they either turned a ban or they turned a saw blade, and they would saw some logs through there, and that was how they cut down on their cost, repairing things around the house, repairing barns and things of that nature. They didn't run down to the hardware store and buy a trailer full of wood. They went and cut some trees down and sawed their own wood. And so yeah, having a little lumber mill on the, well, I'm not even paying attention, I'm talking and just driving around. Having a little lumber mill on the farm is not inconceivable, so I don't see a problem with that one. But it's just like on Holzhausen, somebody has made a bigger brick, nicer facade that looks more like a factory. Well, then that doesn't belong on the farm. That does belong off somewhere over by a BGA, or out in an industrialized area that you go to. And it's just like this place here, where the landing is over here to take your lumber here. If there were a sawmill placed at it, it would fit in perfectly right there. So you could take your wood over there and you could have it sawed, and then you could move you may only have to move the lumber right over to the train, but that would fit in. But I wouldn't put a full-blown sawmill on the farm either, so. And that's it. So if you ever hear me, like the person who got highly offended by the fact that I was sarcastic about the potato washing potato steamer being on a map, it's not that I don't like the fact that people make mods that you can use in the game. People can do them all day long. There's certain ones I just don't think belong on the farm. They belong, at a processing facility. So take the time to plop in a little building, put the potato washer there, put that right next to the steamer, and if you want to be farm sim potato processor, you can be farm sim potato processor, and you can wash the potatoes and steam the potatoes and get paid for it at the very end. But separate the two. Separate the farm from the potato processing. I'd like to see that done. But that comes from somebody who's done a lot of potatoes in his life. You know, I've said it before, my uncle is a potato magnet. He is Mr. Potato in the area where I live. And I will be doing some sweet potatoes with him next week, probably. They've probably begun on them this week, I would think. But I've got things going on. But I will go over there and help out a little bit on that operation next week. Now that I have all my things done. I planted some kale this year. I've never done kale before, and it might be the only time I do kale, but my next door neighbor is sort of a health freak, and she's into kale, and so I planted a little bit of kale for her, and gonna see what that is. From what I understand, kale is just kind of neutral and takes on whatever flavor you add to it, so never have messed with it. And go see how it grows. I know there's a lot of people around me that grow kale during the winter time, so that's the reason I'm gonna give it a try. I didn't give it a whole lot of room though. It didn't get a ton of acreage, but it got a little bit. It's got about maybe half an acre of kale put out. That's probably about what I put out. I didn't go crazy with it though. Alright, let's run back up here real quick, dump this off, and we'll bring on the rain. Pull back up here, and we will throw these out. That should just almost didn't fill. Alright, so I'm just gonna drop the trailer right here and leave it, and then, well, I'm not even gonna do that much, because look, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get out and we're gonna fast track time to 5 a.m. Alright, and by that time we should be able to unload the rest of our oranges out. There we go. How about that? Surprise! We're done with it. Alright, so I know I should go get some more out of the other thing, but alright, so this field is now 29%. That's good. I like that. 29, 32%. That's good. That's about where I want it to be. So when it starts to rain, we will be happy. Ooh, you know what? Those numbers weren't right. Those numbers were what we had. No, that's still right. 28%. That's where we want it to be. If we get 2 units of rain on there, that gives us another 28%, and that will end up around what, 56%, which is about where we want it to be. And then we can put 1 unit of water on it if we need to. Alright, let's come over here. Need to get that other tractor that I want. This one's 49. It looks like this one just didn't even lose any water at all. What, did we not do any moisture at that last growth stage? Huh. So this field is going to be a little too moist. And then this field over here looks good. 31%. Our nutrients aren't terrible on it, so we're alright. That field's actually starting to shape up. Alright. Cool, cool. I guess we let it rain then. Let's see when it starts to rain. It's 7 a.m. and 12, 13. Alright, so that was what, 4 or 5 hours of rain? Now, according to the soil mod documentation, that should mean I should end up with 5 units of rain, which would mean that this would just be a mud pie over here. But that's not really the way it works. So, what to do? I could go. Let's see. Let's let this run up to here. Let me check this now. Yeah, it's. I don't think that's completely calculated. I don't think it has. 61, 57, 69, 78. Maybe it has calculated it in. Yeah, it did go ahead and calculate it in. Alright, so that's 48% on that field. That looks okay. That'll dry out a little bit overnight. So, let's see, we're at 58, 72, 64, 60, 61. Not as bad as I thought. That is, if it has calculated. Not so sure it's completely calculated yet. It might have taken some new numbers, but it may not have. Let's go look at this other field. I'm still not 100% on all this rain stuff. We've only had 2 days of rain to deal with. Okay, so this one was really dry, and now it's up to 43%. Which would be, this thing needs a whole nother thing of water. But I'm not going to do anything until we actually get to the next day. So, with that in mind, let's go to the next day. And we will end up at 5 a.m. Let's let the soil mod calculate. And then we'll actually know what we're looking at, and we can start finalizing our moisture calculations for the day. And we'll see what we're actually left with. Come on. And let's look at our weather forecast real quick. So we have a hot noon, so if we do have to do any kind of adjusting, we can. Alright, so we're starting to see our levels here. Alright, this is harvestable, but we are a little bit dry. So this field needs a little bit of moisture. Nutrient wise, it could use a little PK, but it's within tolerance, 5 and 2. The nitrogen's exactly where it needs to be. The PK could be up another couple of numbers, but I could end up getting it too high. Alright, so that field looks pretty decent. It needs a little bit of moisture to it. So we'll give that one spraying of water before we harvest it. And then we'll come look at this one here. And this one looks pretty decent, I guess. 50%, 47, 43, 43. It's looking pretty good. Oh, that's the wrong button. Back out of that. Is it L? Is it the... I forget the button I'm supposed to hit here. There it is. Alright, so for the moisture, 43 is looking pretty consistent. I'm just debating on whether to add some moisture to this field or not. For the most part, it does look a little dry. You get it here in the middle though, and it gets, well, still pretty dry here. So 43, 41. It could use a little more moisture. So I could put a little bit on this field and get away with it. Alright. Then we come over here. And this field's definitely going to need moisture added to it. So it is pretty dry. Alright, so we'll run through, and I guess I'll give a dose of moisture. And man, 28 in some spots. This one just didn't take moisture like I thought it would. Huh. See, I mean, that's the thing. You just cannot count on the rain to give you the moisture that it says it's going to. Because if you, like I say, if you read the documentation, for every hour that it rains, you're supposed to get 1 unit of water. But then I read all the forums, and all the forums pretty much say that if it rains, just give yourself 2 units of water, 28%. So it just doesn't work out quite right. So if I give it a little bit of water on this field, I'll end up with somewhere around 47%. I'll still be a little bit dry on it, but alright, so we'll bust out the sprayer here and we'll spray this field. And then we're going to need to oops, wrong button. Come on. There we go. Get rid of it. Yeah. And I'm sure the potato field is just as dry, or somewhat dry, not just as dry, somewhat dry. So alright, I'll leave that there for now. Eventually I'll have to go get some fruit out of the orchard again, but we'll get over here and get to spraying, getting some moisture on the fields. And then will be harvest time. Hey, aren't we all looking forward to that? Somebody wrote something the other day on the comments about how come you never video the harvesting, which is the best part. And I'm like, I do it all the time. You're just not watching enough videos, I guess, because there's not a harvest that I haven't recorded. And that's the one thing I don't automate, you know. Alright, so we're going for moisture content here. And we will head over to field number 4. I don't know why I always go to 4 first. It just is my go-to place to start at. Alright, let's go ahead and get these out. And we'll go ahead and turn on our GPS. And we'll dial up field number 4. Get to putting some moisture down. So I want to get all my harvesting done before noon. Because if we hit noon, we lose another moisture cycle because it is a warm day. So we keep that in mind. But again, we're well under everything. I mean, even this one's 39%, so this one's only going to end up being in this area about 53% moisture. The question is does it calculate me adding this little bit of moisture? Does that add in to the harvest there at the end? I don't know for sure, but I'd rather go ahead and do this and have it done than to not do it. And I'm not going to put 2 applications of moisture on it. I'm not going to put 2 applications of moisture on it and wait another day to harvest. So we'll just we'll go with what we got and we'll see what happens. Alright, so a little bit of spray work to do and then we will be ready to harvest. So I bet you can guess what tomorrow's video will be. 'Cause it'll take the rest of this video to do this spray work. And we'll get it done. And then we will be ready to harvest, which means I got to make sure I get all my mods added in that I'm going to use for the harvest. So we got our oats and our wheat that will give us straw this time, and I do plan on collecting the straw on both of those. Trying to start stockpiling straw because I do plan on adding either the beef or the pigs in next. So I need to have quite a good reserve added in, so we'll have that. Alright, so we'll run up here, dial back in, drop some more moisture down, and we'll get this done. So we'll keep the straw on both of these fields. We'll use the, I'm going to use the Ropa for the sugar beets this time, and I'm going to use there is a version for potatoes that we're going to use as well. So we'll use those two. ding, 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 going through all the oats. So we'll use both of those this time to do some harvesting. We'll probably do the cereals first, and then I'll come back and do the sugar beets and the potatoes after that. Which will take quite a while. Alright. So run up through here. And it's water for everybody today. Today, when I get this video done and it is rendering, I am going to try and sit down and update my mods list. And add in a couple of mods to it that I'm actually using and get that up to date, which will include the link to that John Deere tractor, so you guys will be able to find that. I do have it listed on a few videos, but I get enough requests for it now that I need to get it added to the mods list. So I'll get the mods updated today, and that'll be done. And that will save me some headache. Still getting questions about Manchester too. People are still having problems with that, which I wish he would just fix that. Maybe I need to write him a note today and see if I can get him to correct that mod, because it's just a nightmare to have to deal with that every single day. But some of you might be getting confused. When you download it, there is it comes as a zip. You have to unzip that file, and in that will give you 3 or 4 folders or 3 or 4 more zips, and one of them is the actual mod itself for Manchester, but it's got a really long title on it, and you just have to shorten the title of that up to say Manchester and throw it in your mods folder and it'll work. Don't go digging into that. I think somebody got confused the other day because they were talking about, I've gone into the map and I can't find a file called Manchester Soul Mod, yada 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 yada. I don't know exactly what it's listed as. It's been a long time since I've messed with that file. I just know it's messed up. Just shorten it to Manchester. But you don't have to go into a second zip. You just use the zip that is right there. So don't get confused. Unzip it one time so that you get the actual files and the support files, because it's basically what it is you download a zip that contains Manchester. It also contains the Soul mod. It also contains a GUI Miss mod in case you want to run this without the Soul mod. And I think it includes the Chop Straw mod and something else. So it's got the map itself and then some support files. So you've got to unzip it, because if you put that big one file in there, nothing's going to work. So you got to unzip it, unzip that, and then rename the Manchester file. Pretty straightforward. And then it'll work for you. Alrighty. Lots of spraying. So anyways, by going through all this water stages with you guys, hopefully it gave you guys an idea of what you go through as far as adjusting your moisture and the rain cycle. I could have done all this stuff off camera, but it's one of those things where I try to do these things as part of the videos so you guys can see what I go through and my thinking, my adjustments and everything on it. So man, why are these numbers so out of whack? Did I accidentally spray NPK on this field and not realize it? Because I'm looking at my numbers and they're really too high. I must have missed something. I must have sprayed NPK on this field when we were doing moisture. No, I got weed preventative. I never did come back and put water on this field. Or did I? Nope. Yeah, I did. I came and put water on this field off camera. And I wonder if I screwed up and put NPK on it, because my numbers seem really too high. Oh well. Not a lot I can do about it now, is there? Well, see, now there are more in line right there. That's where it should be, 5 and 4. And of course my moisture content in this area is right. So now I'm drowning this section in. This will have too much water on it. Alright, so make our turn back in, catch our line, and we'll get this last section done up. Alright, so I swear when I ran through here earlier it wasn't showing me 50% moisture. I think it's just because of where I'm at right now. Where the tractor's at, the edges are probably right. It's just where the tractor's at is showing 50%. These tram lines don't match up at all, do they? The right side tram line is right where the wheels are, but the left side tram line is, well, it's for a different tractor. Whoa, where are you going? Oh, hold up. Whoa, Nelly. Well, I made a mess there, didn't I? I'll drive this manually. forget this is on a different GPS course right here. Alright, so we'll get this last little bit of spraying done on this field. And we got 2 more to do. Spraying is so boring. That's the only drawback to doing soul mod. It's not so bad, I guess, if you're doing it and you're just doing gameplay. But for me, trying to make interesting videos and do the soul mod at the same time, the spraying part of it is just horrible because I end up having to spray so much, and I know you guys get tired of seeing spraying videos. I don't know where the balance is on that, you know. Whether you guys want me to show the videos for all of this stuff and all of the sprays and everything else like that, or should I just skip all that stuff and only do certain particular videos, you know. It is one of those balancing acts that I have yet to figure out. So my solution right now is just do it all, and it gets old, I'm sure. Of course, I'm sure y'all have like drinking games or something set up now that every time Moose sprays NPK on the field instead of water, everybody has to drink or something like that. Or maybe y'all just sit around waiting for me to make that mistake so you can laugh at me. Oh, you thought I was going to do it, didn't you? And start faking you out. Start driving off, acting like I'm going to. Purposely set a fertilizer trailer over here just so I can mess with you. Haha, you thought I was going to do it, but I'd already set it up so I could fix it over on this side. Alright, let's see. How did I mess up that side over there? Oh, that's where it ran into the tree the other day. I got you. 26 is what we're looking for here. There we go. Alright, so we haven't had a high demand for sugar beets, but now we have them, so we can start utilizing them on the field or on the farm. We'll have potatoes and sugar beets, and that will get us ready to set up our cattle. Interesting. Somebody wrote me the other day. I said made a statement about not feeding potatoes to cattle, and someone told me that there was actually an agricultural study going on where people were starting to feed cattle with potato and studying to see how that worked. So maybe it is now something that's going on. They were using that as a subsidy to lessen their feed cost or whatever, because it was less expensive or something. Curious about that one now. I've raised a few cattle in my life, but that very few. You know, usually 3-4 at a time when we do it. And they're raised strictly for beef consumption. And usually it was a situation where we raised them, took them to the slaughterhouse, had them slaughtered, and it was usually one for me, uh, one for my uncle's family, and then one for the church. So it wasn't really like we were doing it commercially. And I've never done any dairy operations, so I can't really speak on that other than from what my experiences were. So I find that interesting. It's something I would definitely look into and read up on. I like to be educated on those things. I've gotten away from the beef stuff just because it's just so much easier for me to get fish, and it's not cost effective to raise the beef anymore. It used to be affordable, and if you raise your own cow and had it slaughtered, then you saved a lot of money. Then again, looking at the prices in the grocery store, it might be time to readdress that situation, because beef prices are going through the roof. But I haven't done any kind of cost analysis lately on what it costs to raise one. To the slaughterhouse. I have to talk to one of my buddies up around the stockyard and find out that. Don't you love that? That. So technical on it. But to be honest with you, it's not one of those things that excites me anymore. I have really transitioned from... I used to eat beef all the time. I used to love that. That was my go-to thing. And that, of course, was when I didn't live on the coast and didn't have the ability to fish day in and day out. When I was a city boy and was living in the big time, I'd eat beef all the time. I've really transformed, though, moving here and living here now full time. I've really transformed back into eating a lot of fish, just because it is so available all the time. You know, literally every day I can go get fish fresh. And oh, thought I was gonna do it again, didn't you? No, I just wanted to make a big giant circle on the ground. There we go. Let's widen that circle out just a little bit more. And we'll head on down to the potato field and spray it real quick. But yeah, it's really easy to get fish around here. And if I don't go fish today, the guy that lives across the street from me goes and fishes. And like, I know for a fact he got up this morning and left and went out and fished. And he and I talked yesterday afternoon for just a little bit, and I would not be surprised if this afternoon I get a knock on the door and he brings me over a bucket full of mullet or something like that, you know. Just because that's the way we are around here, you know. If you hit it good and you catch a whole lot of fish, more than you need for the day, or more than you need, you can only put so much in your freezer. then you take care of the people around you. And ain't nothing but a thing. Oh, what did I just do? I hope I didn't screw something up. Escape. Alright, come on now. Plus, 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 plus. 20. Load. Now we should be in the right place. And... oh, we better look at our moisture content before I get into this. I may not even need to spray. .43 out here in the hedges. 41, 47, 53. It's pretty consistent, 43. I think what it is, where I get that 50% number, see how I'm right here in the furrow and the tram line? The tram line doesn't have anything growing in it, so it shows up as 50%. 56% right here, and so it shows up for that whole area, but the truth of the matter is you get right off the edge of it and the values are different over here. 43 out here. Get over here in the middle, 43, 43, 43, 43, 47, 43. Yeah, it's consistently in the 43 area. But if I get back over here to the tram line, it comes up to 51%, 52%. So that's what it was over in the wheat field as well. It's where the tram line is. The numbers on the tram line aren't nearly as dried out because it wasn't drawing nutrient for the tram line. That's what it be. Oop, back up. So get out and walk your field and make sure that you get your numbers based on the sampling of the entire field, not just where your tram lines are. We learned something new today. Alright, so we'll get this sprayed and we'll wrap up this video after that, because it'll be getting kind of long. I might grab some more fruit. Never know. I was just looking, it's not quite an hour yet. Let's see. I'm toying with the idea of doing a live stream tonight. I don't know that will happen, but it's something I'm toying with. It just depends. I've got a few things I need to take care of this afternoon. If I do a live stream, it will probably just be some forestry work. Thinking about just getting the controllers out, sitting around and doing nothing but a little bit of forestry time. And knocking that out. So if you see me on, that's what I'll be doing. I've been wanting to do some forestry, and you know, so I may do that. Then again, I may end up playing Arma tonight, because I think the server that we play on finally got put back up today, so all that could be nil if that is up, because we haven't played Arma in like 3 days, because there was a new update to Exile, and the server that we play on, they've taken quite a bit of time to get going again on it. Apparently there was a complete server wipe and all that other stuff, so I haven't talked with the boys, so I don't know what they're doing, so pretty cool shot right there. I'm looking forward to getting my steering wheel in though, and being able to hook it up with the joystick so I can do the forestry with the foot pedals and all that other stuff. That's going to be fun. Kind of excited about that. Being able to give it a little nudge forward with just a tough tap of a accelerator pedal will be nice, and then having the steering wheel as well, so pretty excited. That was one of those things though, as I looked at it and I'm like, I'm spending $200 for a steering wheel. Do I really want to do this? So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase, I think I'll want to purchase a USB interface board and buy a whole bunch of push buttons and some toggle switches and make myself a console, farm console or whatever, for the different buttons. I think it'd be cool to make a little console that you could have that be a little bit more like a tractor console. Something a little bit better than what Farm Sim's doing for theirs. Theirs is just kind of, you know, if you're going to do a farm console, why not do it right? Why not make it look like a a tractor console? Have some actuator buttons for your hydraulics, and have your buttons sort of on a console that sat out to the side of you a little bit instead of on a tower in front of you. I think they missed the mark on that steering console. And then chintzing out and not putting any force feedback in it, which I know the game doesn't have force feedback in it, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think it has force feedback in it. I could be wrong. I didn't understand. I don't think it has force feedback. Like I said, I could be wrong. It could be built into it just so if you want to use it for another game, you'd have it. That's the thing. I couldn't see using it for like for Euro Truck or Rally or anything else like that if it doesn't have force feedback built into it. So all right. Well, we're up to harvest time now, kids. Which means that's what we'll be doing in our next go round. Back this in, park it. There we go. All right. Well, that is that. And I guess we can go grab a little fruit real quick. Got a little bit more time left. Maybe not. Maybe I'm getting my times confused. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And we will come back and start our harvest tomorrow. And we'll go from there. Because I'm not sure how long this video is, and I don't want it to get too long. So we'll We've already done one set of fruit harvesting in this video. There's no need in doing two. So anyways, thanks for watching today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned a little bit about the moisture in Soul Mod. And tomorrow we will begin the harvest. And we'll get our cereals knocked out and then start working on sugar beets and potatoes. So until then, thanks for watching. If you like the video, make sure you like it and thumbs up it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We hit 6,000 subscribers. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Welcome all the new subscribers. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the farm sim stuff, and I'll try to get some more stuff added in real soon. I know in a couple of, I think it's the 16th is when the new lake comes out for Fishing Planet, and that's probably when I'll start doing some more videos. But that's about it. Until then, thanks for watching, and the new hunter map will be out this week probably. As soon as they get a few bugs fixed out of that, I'll go into that a little bit later on. But so there's some new content that'll be coming up to the channel other than farm sim stuff, and as soon as I get the wheel in, that'll change some stuff around too. So, all right, take it easy. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. Have a good day. Bye-bye.